have some Borg Warner S400 frame 88s from Jose, TDIs. They were the first, I was the first guy, John Bewley ordered them for me. I was the first guy to get his T4 136 AR V-band housings that are like a tile, and they're supposed to be really lightweight, and they're supposed to outflow the T6 flange. So I got these because we did a lot of no prep, and I wanted something that would spool really fast and blah, blah, blah. But they're journal bearing, and I have XPR Pro Mod 88s, some of the best 88s you can buy. They're sitting here. What we don't know is how much work it's going to be to put them on. So I don't know if I'm going to need flanges or what. So I figured I'd take this one off because it's easy to get off. Could do a side-by-side comparison. I don't have a lot of room, but I can reposition them some and make a new mount. So anyway, I'm sure people want to see, because I can't really find any videos. Everyone's like, oh, they're way bigger. But how much bigger? Could you adjust them? So let's see. I don't have a lot of room on my exhaust pipe. I do have quite a bit of room up here. I really don't want to remake headers because all this header piping is shit. And I really want to move the turbos out here, but I'm out of turbo. So let's see. Alright, so here's the hot dogs. Hot dog turbo. Now, this will be fun. Look at that little baby. Big boy. So, I have to cut this mount off because I can't even get this in there. That flange is the only flange that won't work. This flange fits in my exhaust flange. So I'm probably gonna have to lop that off. I might have to rebuild my header some. I don't know. Hoping naively that I could just like add a flange and kind of put this on. So let me go over this. Now, oh, I wonder if I can zoom out here. Nope. This pipe is like, I have problems scraping it. So I brought it up an inch. The pipe switch from a 3-inch to a 3.5, and then I'm gonna try to rig my blow-off valve coming up this way. It's not ideal, but I'm kind of out of options, and obviously I'm probably the most restricted in the back, so the turbo had to move forward. Obviously my pipe, moving it down is probably a good idea anyway, and that should spin, so I'm gonna kind of have to cut this into a couple sections. The downpipe thing I'm the most worried about, or I'm sorry, the blow-off valve. So something like that, but it takes a lot of time to figure out so none of the clamps interfere with each other, and that's like the #1 thing here. So probably be something like that. Blow-off valve will fit in this dead space here, and then exhaust will come somewhere. Alright, there it is. Probably gonna have to cut this whole chunk of the lower fender off. I'll probably put a bracket right here to support the fender. I don't know how much meat I got there. I don't think I have very much. So we'll do that, and then I've been whittling on these things. I'm gonna put this spacer in this tubing here, and then like this guy is going to go something like that. I'll put a little stub of tube down there. And then the plan is, as soon as I get the mount mounted for the turbo, because I like where it is, and I have that header tacked, I should be able to get in there and really beat on this piping and make it fit this pipe better. I really don't want to pull the header off because I have to buy new gaskets if I do that, and they're not very cheap. So you can see there's a pretty big gap, and I can squeeze some of that with a pipe and make some cuts. So the change here is this pipe used to get crushed on the ground. This pipe is now an inch taller than where it was crushing on the ground, and it is a 3.5 versus a 3. So I would like to do a fair comparison, but I'm just not really going to be able to. I do need to reflange the exhaust, but the exhaust should be in the exact same spot. Once I get the housing mounted, I can start clocking this, and then I'm going to have to take a chunk out of here, and hopefully I can spin this and spin this and not have to do too much work to this pipe. That's kind of my hope, but we'll see. Bracket that needs painted. I had to modify my clamp here. I'm gonna need a new drain hose, but there it is, all tucked in. So I think a little bracket here would go well. And like I said, this is about 1.25 inches up higher than the other side, and it's bigger pipe. And not a good Just not that great a welder, but
Sis? Yeah? Do you know where you put the hook?
things all packaged in there.
It wasn't listed when I opened it.
We'll start tearing this side apart.
I did.
Got this thing all knocked out. The welding is done. Let's check it out. Got my bracket. Welded up my header. So we got a new pipe here. These are old, man. This is original Dart stuff here. So exhaust, intake pipe. I did weigh these. Tried to copy this other side as best I could. So this side has to come all apart. I need to paint that bracket. I need to remake some drain hoses and probably drain some oil out of the pan so I don't have a big mess. But it's hard getting all this done up, but got her knocked out. So I'm going to put the header on, torque it down. I need to put the turbo back on, hook up all the piping that I need to drill, put a bolt through here. That's the plan. So show you guys some finished product here in a sec. Gotta find a place to end here. I have some heat shields coming for here. Now I know there's been lots of studies about these turbo guards, and I fucked up the fins on my other turbos because they ate some rocks. But one of the guys I race with goes 380s with these, so they don't impede flow that much, even though the interweb would say they do. So I got some shields coming here, and then I got some ballistic. Those things are drying. Anyway, then this side I'm painting the bracket. And I got to make some hoses, but this is basically done. Give you guys a little tour here. This is what multiple projects look like. I threw this down, just set it out of my way because got my new carbon fiber wheelie bars, which that's a whole story. Wish I could say good things, but I didn't get any quick disconnects. I couldn't put these on for the longest time because I paid to 3-day ship these things, and I didn't get these links or pins or hardware. Like I had to go to the hardware store, and these are all NAS bolts, AN bolts, aircraft bolts. So it was a little disappointing, especially for the money that you spend. But got them in there, and then they hit the body. So I had to do a bunch of cutting and cut the carbon fiber, cut the body, and now it's gooped. Had to cut my bumper. But they were 30 pounds lighter. Let me look. So between the turbos being 15 pounds heavier and yeah, 22 pounds to 52 pounds, so exactly 30. And the turbos were 49 versus 34. And the 15-pound-ish weight loss on the torque converter, we are 50 pounds lighter. And I took 30 pounds off the back of the car. We also got a new parachute. So I bolted that thing on there while this is drying. And that's the only other thing I wanted to do was weld a latch so that my aircraft door latch actually grabs something. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So I was thinking about just welding a tab or something up here so it would actually hook this. We'll see. Moment you guys have been waiting for. I have scaled this thing, and it used to weigh 2862. It weighs 2844 now. It is 52.25 on the front, and it was 51.8 on the back. So carbon fiber wheelie bars, heavier turbos, lighter converter. Didn't change a whole lot. What else? Front spoiler, so there's some extra weight. So I think my weight savings was 18 pounds total, but I think it would have been a little more than that without that front stuff. So spool test. I'm going to fire this thing up. I'm going to warm it up. I'm going to see what these turbos do. I'd like to put the hood on, spool test it again, because I seem to have the most problems with the hood on. So that's why I think everybody has cutouts. I don't feel like it gives you any performance advantage down track, but I do think it hurts your spooling with the hood on. So we'll see. All right, new turbos. 6.8 seconds to the chip. And three seconds. So got some work to do here. I got to go through my data and figure out what's what, but gonna have to go back to some basics about getting these things to light off. So that'll be fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little turbo update video, the upgrades. Next time we'll be at Boise, racing for 4 days. So I'm gonna be fighting some elevation. So I gotta get this thing way faster. Like I said, I think this gets even worse with the hood on, but can't be dealing with that when I've got almost 7 seconds with no hood on. And these are just different, so got to figure it out. I think we need some more RPM, and we need to manipulate some of that. I don't know how much higher RPM I can get, but we're going to find out. See you guys next time.